Hello and grand rising, and welcome to another Rebirth Sundays with me, Hank, the Rebirth Coach that likes to help people with whatever comes to when it comes to spirituality, especially spiritual awakenings and spiritual ascensions and leadership. I'm here to help you become the best version of you as possible, regardless if it is intense. I'm here to help you out. As the title suggests, today's video is all about first energetic impressions. It's kind of something that I came up with I didn't really come up with it. It's all spirit that literally downloaded it to me. I want to go over what a first energetic impression is, and we'll go into that. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for those that came by and checked out my live that I did on Tuesday. I was gonna do it on Sunday, but I just things didn't kind of work out quite right. But I really appreciate you all for coming. Shout out to Ben, Amber, and Sam. You guys are amazing. And if any of you also who are watching this video, who watched the previous live and my other videos, on the Mystical Illuminations Twitch, no, Discord. I always get them confused. The Mystical Illuminations Discord, in the general chat, I actually just added a rebirth coaching accountability page where we can talk and chat and encourage each other to get shit done. That is what rebirth coaching is all about, is getting shit done. All internal work, you could say, and helping the planet and raising the vibration. Now, we'll go ahead and continue on. Also a quick shout out. I also saw a couple other people on the live. Don't think I didn't forget about you, Angel and Miss Hope Dealer. Thank you so much for joining. I know there's other people, and I'm sorry if I didn't get a chance to mention you. I didn't get a chance to read everything. But anyway, continuing on. First, energetic impressions. What do I mean by that? So, just like when you are introducing yourself, first impressions are very, very important. Even though like in hindsight, you don't really know a person until you really know them for quite a few times. Like they say, you don't really know a person until you've been to a foreign country with them. And I can highly, highly agree with that statement. I went to a foreign country with my fiance before we started dating. We did really, really well there. We were a really solid team, so I know we were going to work out. We also went with another couple, and they had fights throughout the whole entire time. You've never lived until you saw two people fighting, and then one of them breaking down in a hotel in the middle of China. That was pretty intense. It was really, really sad. So, that is kind of, I guess, a good example of first impression. If you were, there working at that place or just kind of walking by and you saw someone breaking down and crying, the first impression is going to be like, either it's going to be like, oh my God, what's wrong with them? Are they okay? Why are they crying? Blah, 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 blah. Those are first impressions because you've never seen this person before. You never introduced yourself to this person before. You never had any interactions. It's the same thing with like the handshake. For any of you guys that don't know, because I'm sure there's plenty of you guys do. This is something that was taught to me at a very early age. I had a very interesting upbringing. Not necessarily wouldn't say I had a strong paternal source with me at all times. So I kind of had to learn how to become a man, kind of just from observing the world. So one of the first things that was taught to me was handshakes. I went to a church one time and I gave this guy a handshake and he was like, what was that? And I was like, oh, it's a handshake. I never met this guy before in my life. He's like, let me show you. And he's like, first impressions are everything. And for men, specifically, women is included as well, but a handshake can be worth 1,000 words, just like a picture. For example, for a handshake, you do not want to give a flimsy handshake. This is not a handshake. You also don't want to grip the fuck out of the other person's hand. That's not a handshake. What you want to do, warmth. It's all about warmth. But also standing your ground. Solid, not too strong, not too tight, but firm. If you squeeze too hard, then you're an asshole. If you're too limp, then they're not going to think much of you. But a nice medium firm handshake, flexible yet strong. That is a solid first impression for any man in any type of business stuff. I know we're now in the age of Aquarius, so the old age of Cap is now starting to dissolve. However, there's still going to be people, no matter where you're at, unfortunately, that are gonna still kind of live by the old rules of how things were back in the day. So that is a first impression, just in general, And since I also do leadership, that's some good advice for any of you that are going to go out and talk to anybody. And you should do this with any type of person, if you're doing handshakes, because I think it's just nice and professional, and there's a lasting impact. So that's a quick advice for you on the 3D level. So going on to the 5D level, or in higher levels of dimensional thought and consciousness, an energetic first impression is one that is not necessarily seen through the eyes, but is felt through the spirit and the soul and the heart and the aura. Before you even get to the point where you're shaking hands with somebody, you send out an aura, especially if you are coming into a business setting, or you're coming into a workplace setting, especially for the first time, or even if you're just at like a party. You step into the room. Some people make themselves known. I'm a triple fire sign. I'm an Aries sun, Sag moon, Sag rising. When I walk into places, people know. People can tell. It's not something that is necessarily that I was taught. It's just something that happens naturally for me. I've never really had a problem introducing myself to people, because usually people end up either coming to me, or I end up talking to somebody by accident, and then I end up leaving the party with like 3 or 4 or 5 other people. It's kind of like the Sag placement stuff. Get into that, I guess, maybe at a different time one day. So that is like an energetic first impression. It's part of like your aura. You exuberate it. Um, Obviously, you don't always have to do that. Party settings it can be both a blessing and a curse. If you're just trying to come in real quick and get something and then leave, or if you're just coming in to hang out with a friend for a couple hours and leave, then having what I have is not necessarily the best thing in the world. I used to get chased by people, to be like, oh, where you going? The party just started. I'm like, oh, I got work in the morning. They're like, fuck work, just keep partying. I'm like, no, man, I need a rest. Those are some of the unfortunate benefits of it. But if, say, you want to make a good first energetic impression with somebody, regardless if they are, spiritual and understand these things or not, then these are some tips and tricks for you. The first things first, as always, is to set intention. You should be setting intention in everything that you do in general, especially if you're on this path of inner work and awakening and ascending and raising the vibration of the planet. You should kind of always be putting intention in when you sleep, when you eat, when you drink water, when you cook, when you go outside. Setting intention is very important, but that should be definitely one of the first things you do. You sit in your car, say you're about to go into a job interview. Sit down in the car, take a couple deep breaths. I can't remember who it is, but one of our mystical illuminations people. She's amazing. She does these really really great breaths, and I love them. She does them on the reels. I can't tell you how impactful they have been. I'm going to figure it out eventually. I'll put it down in the description below, and I'll probably link some of her videos, because like she's really really awesome. Those breaths have literally saved my life. But you sit down in your car. You take those deep breaths. And set the intention. You say in your head, say it out loud. Saying it out loud usually kind of works better, because that's putting it out into the cosmos, putting it out into the energy stream that this is what you want. Set the intention. I want to make a great impression on this person, and I want to give them something that they've never experienced before in their lives. That is a great intention to set. You probably might have an even better intention to set. That's one way to do it. The next thing you do, go in there and imagine yourself as a sun or a star, and just let your energy out. That intention that you set in, let them know. And I guess that kind of goes into the third thing. But let them know who you are and what you're about. The third thing is be authentic. Do not be fake. Do not be fake, because the fakeness might work for a little bit for the first impression, but remember, people, especially now, more people more than ever are psychic as fuck. So if you are going to come in there and you're going to be lying out your ass about who you might be, like energetically, and you try and like push out that you're what you're not. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, kind of like hype yourself up a little bit and give a little bit extra than, maybe you might normally give. But I'm saying, like, if you are somebody that has a high school education, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I've had it, same for me. You wouldn't go over there, sending out the energy that you're a brain surgeon, because that's totally not you, and that's probably not something that you actually really want to be. But be authentically you, but like in a way that is not going to possibly scare that person off. What I like to do is I like to let people kind of come in at certain thresholds into my energetic field, or I let them feel like who I truly am. Not many people actually know the true me. A lot of people assume that they know who or what I'm about, and then I start talking, and then I get deeper and deeper as time continues on. They're like, wow, this person's not exactly who I thought they were, but they kind of were. That's really, really important to be authentically you. The next thing is to show up open and honestly. Also set the intention to accept whatever that they're giving to you. Be receptive to not only what they say, but what the energy that they're shooting out to you. That is one way that you can be very, very impactful from the first meeting, from the first get-go. I love people and I love listening to people. If you were at my live, you saw me interacting with people. That's like what I love to do. So if you do that, people will be instantly magnetized and drawn to you. This can be done for anything, even if you're having a date. Show up and look good. If you look good, you sometimes more often than not you feel good. 1 second, sorry. So that's a good important thing. So when doing yourself up, make yourself look like $10 billion. And when you look that way, more often than not, you'll feel that way. And then when you go on your first date to meet this person, let that feeling that you feel, because that's your authentic self coming out within yourself around you. That's part of your auric field, that is raising up your vibration. Let it be shown on your face. If you're feeling good, smile. If you're feeling good, walk in like you own the place. If you're feeling good, say hi to people. Even if you don't know them, even if that's not the main person that you're trying to talk to, say hi to them. Oh, how you doing? How's your day going? Certain things, you do it to the server, do it to the host, if you're on that date, or do it to the secretary if you're going to the office for an interview. That will set the precedent, not just for you, but for that secretary or that host or whoever's around you. Because the way it works is that energy, which is, or emotions, which is energy and motion, is contagious. Happiness and sadness is both contagious depending on who the person is and depending on their wavelength at the time. That's some other stuff I'll probably talk about. But at the basis is, say you come into the host or you come to the secretary and you start being nice to them, just talking to them. You have to wait anyway to meet up with your date or whatever, or they have to walk you over there. Have a pleasant conversation with them. More often than not, they're gonna love that so much that you're gonna increase their mood and raise their vibration, which is going to reverberate back at you and increase your vibration as well. Which basically means that your auric field of high vibration is just going to explode more. And it might even affect people. You might be walking by somebody and smile at them, and then they smile at you back, and then you just made a quick energetic first impression right there that's going to not only improve their day, but also going to boost your energy in general. So by the time you hit the seat and talk to the date, or by the time your date comes to you, or when you go into the office to talk to the manager or boss that you're trying to get to know and get that promotion, you instantly already have way more behind you, and they're gonna feel a flood of energy, a flood of positive and loving, encouraging energy. It's already gonna make you so much more different than the other person. That is the importance of first energetic impressions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great and amazing time watching this video. Thank you once again to Ben, Amber, and Sam. Don't forget about you guys. I didn't at all. I really appreciate you guys being so interactive and bringing your stuff to me. I probably will be doing another live, maybe not this week, but the following week. Still deciding. We'll see how it works. That was a pretty fun test for me, but it was also a little stressful because I was having computer problems, literally up to the last 5 minutes, or 5 minutes before the live started. So yeah, but let me know down in the comments, what are some things that you've done to help you make a great first energetic impression on anybody in your life? And then let me know if there's any ideas or tips and tricks that might work, that have worked for you in the past, that you never really thought about, but now you're thinking about it because you watched this video. Put them down in this, in the drop in the comments below. I don't know what I'm saying. You might help somebody else. Other than that, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.